You can live well with dementia. This new film-based guide is designed to help you get the most out of life. It's for carers, for relatives, and for people who have dementia. Tips and advice to help you at every stage of your journey.
Just very frightened. That was the biggest emotion, the fear. You know, what's going to happen next, and will I ever see my grandchildren grow up and go to school, and all these things. There were so many dozens of things, they just overwhelmed me.
It's one of the most feared things. You know, people are really frightened of developing dementia, and they've seen what it's done to some of their relatives, and they really don't want that to be their diagnosis.
But a good attitude once you've got over the shock of the diagnosis would be, let's think about how we can live our life as well as possible and as fully as possible now.
You have to live the life that you have with its limitations.
We were apprehensive about what it would mean, but at least we did know, and we could therefore start to deal with it.
There is a lot we can do to help people to live well with dementia for many years, but it is important to access the right support.
You tailor your life to the illness.
My very first piece of advice would be, if you've just got a diagnosis, try to remember that nothing in your everyday life has changed. You've got this diagnosis, that's the thing that's changed, but your lifestyle hasn't changed.
What I would say is, don't go looking for what might happen, because every patient that gets dementia goes at a different pace, they go in different directions, they lose certain things and don't lose others. So you don't really know, and it won't benefit if you swat up on all the bad things that might happen. And I did that. Sadly, I did that, and I wish that I hadn't. So that's one of my tips to people.
I found that I needed to have everything labelled. It wasn't a choice that came easy, but I thought it was easier to know what was inside a cupboard rather than opening half a dozen cupboards and still not finding what I was looking for. Things have got homes, haven't they, darling?
Yes.
It's a very tough job, and I think it's tough because people don't get a break and it's hard work.
So I often, when I'm making a diagnosis, give some good sound advice to the carer to look after themselves, to blame the illness and not the person, to keep up other activities, to seek help, because by keeping the carer well, you'll keep the patient well.
A diagnosis of dementia could lead to accessing benefits, could lead to accessing local care and support, accessing a number of things that can enable people to live well with dementia.
The whole point of picking it up early is that there are now tablets that can be used for certain types of dementia, which do undoubtedly slow the rate at which people lose their memory, so it slows it down and helps them function.
There are lots of important things that people may want to get in place: wills, powers of attorney, managing finances, planning for later life, that will be informed by a diagnosis of dementia.
A series of short, practical films will guide you on your journey with dementia, from diagnosis to the later stages. We explain what dementia is and how it works, the symptoms you may come across. We look at the difficulties of being a carer and give practical advice on how to cope. We show you where you can turn for effective help and how to make the most of life with dementia.
What is important with dementia is that we can continue to do the things that we enjoy, hobbies, interests, see friends, continuing those everyday activities. Just because we have a diagnosis of dementia doesn't mean to say that we have to stop all the things that we continued doing previously to that.
The other very important thing is to keep up our social networks. So keep interested in things and keep doing things. And that sort of general, if you like, a physical and mentally active lifestyle are very important.
Get the help that you can, get the advice that you can, and stay connected. Don't isolate yourself.
The more familiar things you're surrounded with, the better you're going to do, and the slower the progression of your illness will be.
One of the commonest questions I get asked is, what is the best activity I should do? And my instant response is the one that you enjoy doing, and the one with people who you enjoy being with.
And you can live very well for, independently in your own home for a very long time with the right support at the right time.
You should never ever feel that there isn't anybody that you can turn to.
Enjoy life as much as you can in the early stages of it. Don't look too far ahead, and try and get help and advice from professionals and other carers and carers groups.
You really can't do it on your own.